Atlantis has fallen. The absolute power event doesn't just affect the people on the surface, no. Atlantis, the beautiful city, was decimated, and I'm here to tell you exactly how it happened. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, where we talk about comic books and stuff. If you don't want to get lost in the sauce, go check out my Absolute Power playlist. Now, let's go. The death of Atlantis starts out with the defeat of the Doom Patrol. Elastic Woman, cursed with the gift of being able to change her size whenever she wants, has lost that gift. Right here, right now, she was laying down in what used to be her big form, and Robot Man was there to pick her up. She had apparently lost her abilities because prior to this, they came to the surface to meet Aquaman and Aqualad locked in a battle against an Amazo. They tried to step in, they tried to stop this fight, but then something hit them like a wave of energy, and they all lost their abilities all at once. Thankfully, Robot Man didn't have his abilities. He was just a straight up robot, so he was able to put himself back together. Beast-Girl's form was still the same, but she couldn't feel her ability to control animals. Even Negative Man now had his human form. They were all back to normal, and now they were all conscious to understand what Amanda Waller had planned. It finally dawned on them that all these attacks were coordinated. This was just to take out every single metahuman on the planet. But they were so distracted, they didn't notice Aqualad standing behind them. But he wasn't worried about them, no. He was wondering where Aquaman was. Then Robot told them Amazo took him, and he asked, took him where? With Mr. Robot pointing to the ocean, not realizing that Aquaman was half human. So without his abilities, he couldn't even breathe underwater. That was a death sentence. They had to move quickly. They had to get to Atlantis. But Amazo was already there, making his presence known. People of Atlantis, remain calm. I am not here for you. I am here for the metahuman population that stands in defiance. Do not resist, or you will die. As a show of force, he came forth with the sharks of the ocean because he had Aquaman's powers. But what he failed to realize was that Atlantis has so much in common with the Amazons. They are a warrior race. They do not take threats lightly, especially when it comes for someone who is looking to conquer them. As a show of defiance, Aqualad threw his trident at the Titan, and that was a mistake. Because as soon as he had Aqualad in his sights, he simply took his abilities as well. But thankfully, Aqualad was full Atlantean. That didn't stop him though. Amazo simply blasted him, repeating again, soldiers of Atlantis, I am not here for you. You stand in defiance. I am here for your metahuman population. Stand down or die. This is when we get an explanation as to why Amazo is suddenly so super powerful. He feels like a god now. That is because he is combining abilities, the ability to grow of Elastic Woman, the abilities to command fish of Aquaman, and the abilities to control fish of Beast Girl. But he didn't know Beast Girl's ability is not just to command. Her abilities are a two-way street. If you are influencing someone else, the people influence you back. And he was trying to influence millions of sharks. So millions of sharks were influencing him back. Millions of sharks were telling him to kill because that is their nature. He was already on edge with the defiance of the Atlanteans, and when he noticed that they only listened to their king because Aquaman told them to stand down, the Amazo got enraged. You do not command in my presence. I am in charge here. I am in charge. And he gave in, tossing Aquaman to the side and unleashing his forces on Atlantis, allowing the influence of the millions of sharks he had commanded to influence him back. He was in a frenzy, and Aquaman was forced to watch his kingdom die while he drowns because he doesn't have his abilities anymore. He cannot breathe underwater. Thankfully, at the nick of time, Garth came and tried to save his king, but Aquaman said no, I would rather fight and die for Atlantis. But Garth told him, bruh, this is no time to be brave. We need you for what is to come. Aquaman, realizing he was right, finally said, okay, free me. And they freed him, taking him back to the ship to leave this place. Atlantis was lost. He held his head down, for a king had lost his kingdom. Later on, we see Amanda Waller communicating with her Amazo, trying to get a sit rep, and he made it clear that Atlantis has been handled. She was happy, like, yes, Atlantis is going to be a good ally. But the Amazo paused and told her, correction, Atlantis has been erased. That shook Amanda. She didn't expect that to happen. So much loss of lives. But then, this was Amanda Waller. She wasn't shook for too long. She just said, where is Aquaman? And the Amazo reported that he was gone. And he was gone. Gone to the Fortress of Solitude to co-op with his fellow heroes, because it was time for the heroes to finally fight back.